He called me a walking red flag just because I love food and talk too much. But guess what? Now I'm cooking my way to fame, and he's watching from the sidelines. This is my story, funny, messy, and full of surprises. You won't believe what happens next. He said I was a walking red flag, now I'm the one they all want. Candace sat on her soft pink couch in her small Phoenix apartment, holding her phone tightly. She had just read the message from Brad, the fitness influencer she met online. It said, "You're funny, but honestly, you're kind of a walking red flag." Her heart dropped. She thought they had something. She didn't lie about who she was, she just posted her favorite pictures, even if they were from 2 years ago. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but not for long. She wiped them, stood up, and walked to her kitchen. "Red flag or not," she said, "I make the best damn macaroni in Arizona." She turned on her phone camera, pointed it at herself, and pressed record. "Hi everyone, I'm Candace, and today, we're making my comfort mac. Because men come and go, but cheese? Cheese stays." Candace didn't expect anyone to watch that video, but the next morning, her phone blew up. Her cooking clip got shared over 4,000 times overnight. The comments were full of laughter, love, and people saying they needed more of her sass and snacks. One said, "She's the internet auntie I never had." Another read, "She's real, unlike Brad's six-pack and zero soul." Candace looked at herself in the mirror. She was wearing a tie-dye hoodie, with her curly wig slightly tilted and no makeup on. But she smiled. "This is me," she said proudly. She grabbed a frying pan, fixed her wig, and said, "All right y'all, it's time for season 1, recipes and red flags. Let's feed the people, and maybe fry a few X's while we're at it." Candace opened her spice drawer and pulled out her grandma's handwritten recipe card. It was old, stained with oil, and full of flavor. "Today," she said to the camera, "we're making Grandma Ruby's sweet chili chicken. Warning, may cause ex-boyfriends to regret everything." She danced while stirring the pot, cracking jokes about men who can't handle women who season both their food and their opinions. By the time the chicken was done, her video had over 10,000 likes. People started tagging their friends, sharing memes, and even copying her sayings. "Red flag who? More like red hot." One fan wrote, "This is the energy I need while healing from my situationship." Candace wasn't just cooking anymore, she was healing hearts, one plate at a time. A few days later, Candace got a message that made her drop her spoon. It was from a small digital food channel called Fire and Flavor Network. They said her energy was unmatched and asked if she wanted to film a pilot cooking show. At first, she thought it was fake. But when they offered to fly her to LA to meet the team, she screamed so loud her neighbor knocked on the door to check if she was okay. Candace stared at her reflection again. "A walking red flag, huh?" she whispered, laughing. She packed her favorite apron, the pink one that said "too hot to handle." As she zipped her suitcase, she looked into the camera. "Next stop, Los Angeles. Brad, I hope you're watching. Because this red flag?" She's about to wave on national TV. Candace had never flown first class before. She sat by the window in her cozy seat, sipping on orange juice like a queen. But as the plane took off, her confident smile faded a little. "What if they laugh at me?" she whispered to herself. "What if they say I'm too loud, too much?" For a moment, she remembered every rejection, every rude comment, every time someone told her to tone it down. Then she reached into her purse and pulled out a note her grandma once gave her. "Don't shrink, baby. Some people just can't handle your flavor." She smiled and looked outside at the clouds. "I'm not shrinking," she said. "I'm rising." The studio in Los Angeles was big, bright, and full of people rushing around with clipboards and cameras. Candace felt out of place in her glittery sneakers and pineapple earrings, but the moment she stepped onto the set kitchen, everything clicked. She tied on her apron and faced the cameras. "Welcome to Cooking with Candace. where the food is spicy and the stories are even hotter. But not everyone was clapping. A young, thin producer named Melanie whispered to another crew member, "She's a bit loud, don't you think?" Candace heard her. Her chest tightened, but instead of breaking, she smiled wider. "Turn up the mic," she said to the sound guy. "They're gonna hear me whether they want to or not." The cameras rolled, and Candace was on fire. She cooked her spicy shrimp tacos while telling the story of her worst date ever. "He said he didn't eat carbs," she laughed, "so I left him at the table and took his bread basket home." The crew laughed, even the camera guy was shaking with laughter. But Melanie, the producer, just frowned and wrote something down on her clipboard. After the shoot, Candace overheard Melanie saying, "She's not marketable enough." 2. Real. That night in her hotel room, Candace sat with a bowl of leftover shrimp and thought hard. "If real is the problem," she said into her phone, "then I'm not the problem. The industry is." She posted the video. It went viral overnight. The comments flooded in. "Candace is the realest thing on the internet. I've never seen anyone like her on TV, finally." People started using the hashtag #TeamRedFlag to show support. Some even dressed up like her and recreated her shrimp tacos. She wasn't just a cook anymore. She was a movement. The network noticed. The boss of Fire and Flavor called her personally. "You've started something, Candace," he said. "We want to give you a full season." Candace dropped her phone in the mashed potatoes. She screamed, then laughed. "Guess who's not too real now?" she shouted to her followers. "Let's cook, babies." Candace was in the middle of filming her third episode when her phone buzzed. She glanced down and nearly choked on her gumbo. It was a DM from Brad. Yes, that Brad. The same fitness influencer who once called her a walking red flag. His message said, "Saw your show. Didn't know you had it in you. Proud of you." Candace rolled her eyes so hard, they almost fell out. She didn't reply. Instead, she turned back to the camera and said, "Ladies, if the man who ghosted you suddenly wants to say hi, just remember, he saw the glow, not the grind." The crew burst out laughing. She smiled wide. That message wasn't a compliment. It was a reminder of how far she'd come. With her show blowing up, the network brought in a surprise guest, Trey Watson, a handsome R&B singer with millions of followers. He strolled into her kitchen set and said, "I've been dying to taste these famous ribs." Candace smiled but stayed focused. "Well, Trey," she said, "you gotta earn your plate. Grab an apron." They cooked, laughed, and traded stories. The chemistry was real, and by the end of the episode, fans were shipping them hard. Twitter exploded with hashtag Trey and Candace. That night, Candace looked at her reflection again. From red flag to red carpet, she whispered, touching her cheek. And for the first time in a long time, she blushed. Candace sat across from a famous TV host on a sleek daytime talk show. The lights were hot, the audience was live, and her heart was pounding. "So, Candace," the host said with a smile, "how does it feel to go from being called a red flag to becoming America's favorite recipe?" Candace paused. She looked into the camera and spoke from her heart. "I used to think I had to be smaller, to fit in, to be loved, to be accepted. But now I know I just had to be me." The crowd erupted in cheers. Tears welled in her eyes as she said, "If you've ever been called too much, remember, maybe you're just enough for the right people." Later that night, Candace got a call from her mom in Phoenix. "Baby, I saw you on TV," her mom cried. "Your grandma would have been so proud." Candace sniffled, holding back tears. "I felt her with me," she whispered. "Every time I cook, I hear her laugh." Then her mom said something she hadn't heard in years, "I'm proud of you, Candace. Not because you're famous now, but because you never stopped being yourself." Candace hung up and stood by her hotel window, looking out at the city lights. She whispered to the sky, "We're just getting started, Grandma." Just when Candace thought everything was perfect, a wave of mean comments hit her new video. "She's loud. She's too big to be cooking on TV. This show is a joke." The hate poured in like a storm. Candace stared at the screen in silence. For a moment, the old feelings came back. Doubt. Shame. Fear. But then she opened her camera and hit record. "To the people calling me too much, I've been too much for years, and guess what? I'm still here. Still cooking. Still winning." She ended the video with a wink and said, "Haters, you can't season food or opinions. Go eat your dry chicken somewhere else." That video? It got 3 million views in one day. After a book signing in New York, a little girl wearing a pink apron came up to Candace. Her name was Lily. She held up a drawing of Candace cooking, with the words, "You make me feel brave." Candace knelt down and hugged her tightly. "You already are brave, baby girl," she whispered. "Keep cooking. Keep being you." That night, Candace cried happy tears. She realized it wasn't just about food or fame anymore. She was making space for people who never saw themselves on screens. People like Lily. People like her. She posted a picture of Lily's drawing with the caption, "This is why I do it. For the girls who never felt seen. We're here now." One morning, Candace's manager rushed into her dressing room holding an envelope with a gold stamp. "You've been invited to the Southwest Food Awards," she said, nearly out of breath. "You're nominated for Best New Food Personality." Candace's eyes widened. Her hands shook. "Me? Like, Mimi?" She sat down slowly, stunned. "I used to be the girl who couldn't even get a call back from a date. Now I'm walking red carpets?" She looked in the mirror and smiled. "Grandma, I hope you're watching, 'cause I'm about to show them what seasoning and soul really look like." The night of the awards, Candace wore a custom red velvet gown that hugged every curve. The moment she stepped onto the carpet, cameras flashed like lightning. Reporters shouted her name. Trey Watson, the singer from her show, appeared beside her in a sharp black suit. "Ready to take over the world," he whispered. As they posed for pictures, a reporter asked, "Candace, what would you say to people who once called you a red flag?" She smiled big and answered without missing a beat, "Flags wave. And tonight, I'm waving mine high." The crowd cheered. Even the haters had to admit, Candace had arrived. The room was silent. The announcer opened the golden envelope as the crowd held its breath. "And the Best New Food Personality Award goes to," a pause. Candace clutched Trey's hand under the table. "Candace Monroe." The audience erupted in applause. She walked to the stage slowly, trying not to trip in her heels. When she reached the mic, her voice trembled. "To the ones who said I was too loud, too big, or too much, thank you. You helped me find my people." She raised the trophy high. "This is for every girl who ever got laughed at, left on read, or told to shrink. We're not shrinking. We're shining." Back in Phoenix, Brad sat on his couch, scrolling through Instagram. Candace's face was everywhere, magazine covers, red carpet interviews, even a new commercial with Trey. His mouth twisted into a half smile. He typed a message, "Hey stranger, dinner sometime?" Then he hovered over the send button. But before he could hit send, Candace posted a new video. It was her laughing over a pot of stew, saying, "Let them regret. We rise spicy, we rise smiling." Brad sighed and put his phone down. Meanwhile, Candace danced in her kitchen, surrounded by love, fans, and fried chicken. She wasn't chasing anyone anymore. They were all chasing her. Candace returned home to Phoenix for a special live episode, filmed right in her childhood kitchen. The curtains were faded, the tiles a little cracked, but the memories were golden. "This is where it all started," she told the camera, stirring a pot of okra soup. Where Grandma taught me to taste first, talk second, but I never really listened. She laughed, wiping a tear. Her mother joined her on screen, and together they made candied yams while sharing old stories. I used to worry about you, her mom said softly. Now I see, you were never too much. The world was just too quiet. Candace nodded, her voice thick. Well, I turned up the volume. Right after the home episode aired, Candace's agent called again. We've got offers, she said. Big ones. A national cooking tour. Your own spice line. A book deal. Candace blinked. All that? For being myself? The agent laughed, that is the secret sauce. Candace sat on her porch that night, watching the Arizona sunset. She didn't need filters anymore. Her laugh was loud, her heart was full, and her future? Hotter than ever. She turned on her phone and said to her fans, "You were with me when no one else was. This isn't just my win, it's ours. Now let's eat, babies." Candace started working on her first cookbook, filled with bold recipes and even bolder stories. Every chapter had a dish and a lesson. Like, don't date men who fear garlic, and spaghetti can't fix a broken heart, but it helps. As she wrote, she relived the moments that shaped her, heartbreaks, kitchen fires, and her rise from rejection to recognition. On launch day, the line at the bookstore stretched around the corner. Candace hugged fans, signed books, and cried with strangers. One woman whispered, "Your food saved me when I was alone." Candace hugged her tight. "You're not alone anymore," she whispered. "We've all been burned, but baby, look, we still cook." After a live episode, Trey pulled Candace aside. He looked nervous. "There's something I've been wanting to do, if you'll let me." Then, in front of the cameras, the crew, and her thousands of live stream viewers, he dropped to one knee. "Candace Monroe, will you let me be the flavor to your fire?" Candace gasped so loud, her mic squeaked. The internet went crazy. Hashtag from red flag to ring trended instantly. With tears in her eyes, she said, "Only if you promise to do the dishes." The crowd cheered as she kissed him, flowers still on her cheek. For once, the recipe called for love, and she finally had all the right ingredients. With her engagement and cookbook soaring, Candace landed her biggest interview yet, Good Morning America. But just before going live, a stylist whispered, "Maybe we put you in black? It's more slimming." Candace paused, then looked straight at her reflection. "Nah. I like my curves in color." On air, she wore a bright yellow dress and even brighter smile. When the host asked about the criticism she still got online, Candace answered, "Critics don't feed me. My joy does. My people do." The audience applauded. Candace winked. "Besides, I cook with too much flavor to ever be bland." Back home in Phoenix, Candace went to a neighborhood block party. She laughed with old neighbors, danced with kids, and handed out sliders from a food truck with her face on it. Then, out of nowhere, Brad showed up. Slimmer, quieter, holding a plate. "Hey, Candace," he said, eyes low. "You really did it." She smiled, polite but strong. "Yeah, I did." He shifted. "No hard feelings?" Candace handed him a napkin. "None. You were part of the recipe. Just not the main course." He laughed awkwardly. She turned away, walking back toward the music and her future. Some people stay in your past for a reason, and Candace knew hers was far ahead. Candace and Trey traveled to New York City to launch her pop-up restaurant, Flavor and Fire, for one weekend only. The line wrapped around the block before the doors even opened. Inside, every table was packed with fans, foodies, and even a few celebrities eager to taste Candace's famous cornbread and confessions. During dinner service, an older black woman grabbed Candace's hand and said, "We needed you, baby. You remind us we can laugh, love, and live out loud." Candace smiled with tears in her eyes. I didn't know I was needed. Until y'all showed up hungry. That night, she didn't just serve food, she served freedom. The next morning, Candace tried making biscuits in Trey's fancy Airbnb oven. They burned to a crisp. "You can't take Phoenix out the girl," she joked, laughing. Trey walked in with a grin, holding a tiny gift bag. Inside was a baby onesie that said too much? Or just enough? Candace froze. "Wait, are you serious?" He nodded. "Doctor confirmed it this morning." She screamed, then laughed, then cried into his shoulder. "I used to think I was too loud, too much, too everything," she whispered. "Now I get to teach someone else to be all of it, and proud." Life was about to get even messier, and even more beautiful. Pregnancy hit Candace like a roller coaster. One minute she was craving chocolate-covered pickles, the next she was sobbing over a dropped spoon. Trey was patient, learning how to rub her feet and dodge her mood swings. "This baby better come out singing," he joked. With all this drama, they better win a Grammy. But late one night, Candace sat on the bathroom floor, holding her growing belly. "Will I be a good mom?" she whispered. The doubt crept in. But then she remembered Grandma's words, "You don't have to be perfect. Just be present, and feed them well." Candace stood up, wiped her tears, and smiled. "Okay, baby. Let's do this." Candace's baby shower was loud, colorful, and filled with love. Instead of a quiet brunch, she threw a backyard cookout with music, ribs, and games like Guess That Baby Food. Even her old crew from Phoenix showed up, including the neighbor who once told her to keep it down. "You were loud, girl," he said, hugging her. "But you were right, too." As the sun set, Candace opened one last gift, Grandma Ruby's old cooking spoon, polished and wrapped in pink ribbon. Her mom had kept it for this moment. Candace held it to her heart, then raised it to the sky. "Baby," she said, smiling at her belly, "you're coming into a world that's ready for you, and a mama who's finally ready too." It started at 2 a.m., Candace's water broke right in the middle of her favorite midnight snack, curly fries with ice cream. "Oh no, not now," she yelled, holding her belly. Trey flew out of bed, tripping over his slippers as he grabbed the hospital bag. "Do we have everything? Do you have everything?" he shouted. In the delivery room, between painful contractions, Candace cracked jokes. "If this baby doesn't come out loving garlic, I'm sending them back." Hours later, their daughter arrived, tiny, warm, and perfect. Candace stared at her, stunned. "I made this, me. The girl they said was too loud, too much, made this." And for once, she had no words, just tears and love. They named her Sage, after the herb and the wisdom she already brought into their lives. When Candace posted Sage's first photo online, wrapped in a soft yellow blanket, the internet exploded. #BabySage trended within hours. Fans from around the world sent gifts, letters, and even baby-sized aprons. Candace posted a video holding Sage, saying, "She's not just my biggest blessing, she's my little reminder that it's okay to be exactly who you are. I didn't change to become a mom, I became more." Trey kissed them both on the forehead. The girl once called a red flag now had a family, a following, and a future so bright, it could light up all of Phoenix. Motherhood wasn't easy. Candace barely slept. Her hair was always in a messy bun, and the microwave became her new best friend. One night, while rocking Sage and reheating lasagna, Candace recorded a raw, honest video. "Y'all, I love my baby, but I miss my edges, my silence, and my oven." She expected backlash, but instead, moms everywhere flooded the comments. "Thank you for being real. This is what we needed. Normalize messy motherhood." Candace smiled through her exhaustion. She wasn't just feeding her family, she was feeding a movement. One leftover at a time. As Sage grew, Candace felt something shifting in her heart. She didn't just want to cook anymore, she wanted to give. She started a non-profit called the Full Plate Project, delivering home-cooked meals and kitchen starter kits to single moms in need. The first delivery made her cry. A young mom hugged her, whispering, "I thought nobody saw me." Candace held her close. "I see you. I was you." That night, she and Trey sat on the porch, Sage asleep in her lap. "This," Candace whispered, "this is what healing tastes like." And in that moment, life had never been more full. Candace stood frozen in the bookstore aisle, staring at herself on the cover of Flavors and Faces magazine. The headline read, "From Rejection to Recipe Queen, Candace Monroe's Rise." She laughed so hard, people turned to stare. "They used to crop me out of group pics," she whispered. "Now I'm on shelves." Later that night, she laid the magazine on her kitchen table and showed Sage. "Baby girl, this is mommy," she said softly. The same one they said wasn't made for the spotlight. But look, I didn't change my light. I just found the right room to shine in. When a local school district cut its free lunch program, Candace spoke out online. The video went viral. Soon, she was invited to speak before a state committee about food insecurity. "Kids can't learn hungry," she said, standing in heels and holding a photo of Sage. "Food is not charity. It's a right." The room went quiet, but her words echoed beyond the walls. People reposted her speech with hashtags like #MamaWithAMission and #RedFlagWho. Candace walked out of the building holding Trey's hand. "I thought I just wanted a cooking show," she said. "But now? I want a country that feeds its kids." And just like that, her recipe turned into a revolution. Candace brought Sage to the set of her show's new season. Between takes, the toddler waddled around with a spatula, giggling and babbling. The crew adored her. But during a quiet moment while Candace stirred a pot of gumbo, Sage pointed at her and said, "Mama." Clear as day. Everyone froze. Candace's eyes filled instantly. "Did she just?" A cameraman whispered, "Keep rolling." Candace dropped the spoon and scooped Sage up. "That's right, baby. I'm Mama. You're Mama." The scene aired in the next episode, and fans everywhere wept. For once, the main ingredient was love, and it was perfect. Candace received an invite to a prestigious food panel in Chicago, the first Black woman on the list in over a decade. As she entered the sleek hotel ballroom, whispers followed. "That's the red flag girl," someone muttered. Candace turned, smiled, and said, "Yes. And now I design the flags." During the panel, she spoke boldly about making room for voices like hers. "We've been cooking in silence for too long," she said. "It's time we take up space." Loud, proud, and well-seasoned. The crowd rose in a standing ovation. Candace didn't just sit at the table. She rebuilt it, one recipe at a time. Candace launched her nationwide speaking and cooking tour called the Red Flag Tour. Too much, too loud, just right. Each city was packed with women, mothers, creatives, and dreamers who once felt like outcasts. In every stop, she cooked a signature dish while telling a personal story behind it. In Houston, she cooked catfish while talking about betrayal. In Atlanta, she baked peach cobbler while speaking on forgiveness. "The world told me I was a warning sign," she told the crowd. "But I'm proof that sometimes, warnings are just beginnings." People didn't just come for food, they came to be fed in every way. Backstage in Nashville, Candace's mom handed her a yellowing envelope. "I forgot I had this," she said. "Your grandma wrote it right before she passed. Said to give it to you when you found your fire." Hands shaking, Candace opened it. Inside was a note that read, "Baby girl, they might not always get you. But that's their flavor problem, not yours. Keep cooking. Keep laughing. And never let them turn down your heat." Tears streamed down her face. She stepped on stage holding the letter close to her chest. Tonight, she told the crowd, is for Grandma Ruby. The one who taught me that the loudest love comes from the quietest kitchens. For the final stop of her tour, Candace returned to Phoenix for a massive outdoor show called Taste of Home. Thousands filled the park, old neighbors, new fans, and even people who had once doubted her. Giant screens played clips from her journey, from her very first mac and cheese video to her award speech and Sage's first mama. Candace stepped onto the stage with a giant pot of her famous gumbo. "This dish has pain, love, loss, laughter, and seasoning," she said. "It's everything I've been through. Everything I am." She served bowls to the crowd herself. In that moment, Candace didn't feel like a show host or a brand. She felt like home. Back in her kitchen, late at night, Candace sat with Sage on her lap, watching old videos of her journey. Trey walked in with hot cocoa and said, "You ready to rest?" She smiled. "For a minute. But the next recipe's already cooking in my head." She opened her laptop and started writing a letter to her daughter. "Dear Sage, one day they might tell you you're too much. Laugh too loud. Dream too big. If they do, thank them. Then feed them your fire." She closed the laptop, kissed Sage's forehead, and whispered, "This red flag? It waves for you now." The screen fades to black with one final message. Be loud. Be full. Be proud. Your story matters.